Okay, so looks like the gathering of the Democratic politicians in Texas. Oh, yes, I just want to comment on this. Uh, these people are accused by the governor of Texas, who said, hey, if they don't return by 3 o'clock, this was yesterday, I'm going to put out a warrant for their arrest. They are, and he said, well, they're in dereliction of their duty. But they are doing their duty. This is their duty. They're working. This is their freedom of speech. This is the way of preventing Donald Trump of rigging the election. Donald Trump is the one, as far as I understand, as far as my quick little Google research, he contacted the either the Secretary of State or the governor of Texas and said, hey, by the way, just like he did in 2020 with Georgia, he was indicted for that, had to show up, have a mugshot for his involvement with the 2020 election. And he called the Georgian Secretary of State saying, we need more votes. Find us some more votes, regardless, kind of the connotation there was regardless of if you break the law or not, we need you to find more votes. So anyway, he was indicted on that, had to show up, take a mugshot. If you Google Trump's mugshot, that's the history of his trying to interfere with elections. And now we have him gerrymandering here in 2025, trying to rig the midterms because he knows the things that he's doing are outlandish, they're illegal, they're corrupt, and that most Americans are going to vote against him, are going to vote Democrat for Democrat politicians in the midterm so we can impeach him and get him out, which is what most Americans want, which is what democracy is about, right? Democracy for the people, by the people. And he wants to subvert the democratic process by cheating and rigging and putting more Republicans in those seats in Congress. That's cheating. That's cheating. So anyway, here's these brave Democratic politicians standing up to Trump, standing up for the cause, standing up for all Americans, saying we are doing our job. We are doing our job. So I'm gonna I think I'm gonna skip this one and go to the next one. And now I've lost I have to go find my activities. Activity log, comments. We did that one already. By the way, I just want to comment too on Trump's history of cheating in elections. And that might be all I have for in this video. But in 2016, he was colluding with the Russians, and he admits it too. I think it was his campaign manager, his son, and someone else, might have been his son-in-law. They are open about it. They met with a Russian official in the Trump Towers in 2016 to exchange dirt on Hillary Clinton, and that's colluding. He says, hey, I didn't break the law. So he was interfering in that respect. And then in 2016, he paid his lawyer, Cohen. By the way, Cohen's written at least one book about this, and he's open about it. He paid Cohen $130,000, said, hey, give this to my hooker, which is, by the way, hello, that's illegal right there. Having a hooker is illegal in the United States. He's give this to my hooker, Stormy Daniels, keep her quiet. Didn't work because she spilled the beans later. But anyway, he was found guilty, 34 felony accounts, and convicted just recently. But and then he was elected president, and they said, oh, he has immunity now, so we can't put him in prison. Kind of a double standard that is other people, and he is deporting people that have no criminal records, and he's using this gaslighting stance. Oh, we got to get these criminals out of the United States, and he's one of the biggest criminals that we have. So he's interfering in the election through Russian colluding, through and by the way, that 130,000 was seen as campaign fraud, election fraud, and tax fraud. So, and then in 2020. Like I've already mentioned, he was contacting the Georgia Secretary of State saying, find me more votes. That was in 2020. Here's another election interference. the big one, the January 6th insurrection. He was, by a bipartisan committee, found guilty of his involvement in that insurrection, of provoking white nationalist groups, of other groups, Proud Boys, some other groups, of insurrection over on which resulted in death. And to add insult to injury, he pardoned all those people. So he is bent on interfering with elections, on breaking laws, and now he's got this thing going with the Texas gerrymandering. Let's see if we can just do one more. Different guy. There you go, the Trojan horse. Megalomaniac, no limits. I agree with Gavin Newsom. By the way, Gavin Newsom's very brave man standing up to Trump. Don't agree with all his politics. Gavin Newsom's not going to want to hear this if he ever hears this, but Gavin Newsom signed into law in California rules limiting teachers' ability to discipline in the classroom. So, Mr. Newsom, that's one thing I disagree. I was a teacher 30 years, and you metaphorically tied our hands, and you've made it still in the law right now where principals cannot suspend students who are defying teachers, who are disrupting classrooms. You can't send them home. And that's based on the school to prison pipeline, which there's some truth in that, but sometimes it just goes overboard. So anyway, my point is I just don't agree with all of Newsom's politics. Anyway, that's it for this segment. Brand new, I can't even remember the name. I think it's Snarky Comments, Gay Moderate Snarky Comments. I've had fun talking with you. Thanks for joining me. Now let me see if I even know how to stop sharing. I'm going to try to find stop recording. Anyway, God bless you. God bless America. Hope you're doing well. There's so much more we could be doing as a country, by the way. We want to focus on unity, on positive, on things we have in common, not these things that divide us. Let's get Trump out of office and move on and start working on positive, constructive things. Anyway, God bless you.